Good morning, you guys. How are y'all this morning? Hope everyone is well today. We are going to be doing some watercolor tutorials. So, hopefully, you guys will enjoy today's tutorial. If you have not already gathered your supplies, go ahead and grab your watercolors and your paints and all of the things. It is raining here, so I have satellite internet, so hopefully it's going to cooperate with us today because it is raining pretty bad, and sometimes that does affect my internet, so we'll see how it goes today. Crystal Joy, welcome in. Christy, welcome in. Jennifer, Nancy, Rhonda, Lisa, thank you guys for joining. Pop in the comments a good morning for me so I know that you can hear me over the metal roof that I have the rain pouring down on. I do have my noise canceling mic on, but I don't know how well that's going to work. It's supposed to work really well. It's this right here. So these are supposed to work. This is the first time I've used it. I got it for Christmas. So we'll see if y'all can tell me if you hear the rain slamming down on my metal roof or not. All right. Don't forget to grab your engagement points from the fan club up here. It helps my account. It helps yours. Tap the screen so this will go out to all of the FYP so we can get everybody in here to start painting this morning. Hi, Jess. Welcome in. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful Friday morning. Woohoo! Happy Friday. Yay. We're going to do a fun tutorial this morning. These are the ones we've done so far this week. On Monday, we did this cute little bear. On Tuesday, we did this cute giraffe. On Wednesday, we did this raccoon. And on yesterday, we did the skunk. So today we are going to be doing a mouse. Somebody requested a mouse, so that's what we're going to do today is mouse. A mouse. Somebody requested a mouse, so that's what we're going to do today is mouse. He looks like this. Let me pull him up. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not doing a mouse. We're doing a rabbit today. My bad. Y'all request, I have a whole list of things. Rabbit was one of them as well. So this is our inspiration pick for today. Jess, thank you for the heart me. Now, he's not going to look like this. This is just an AI generated image. So just know that he's just for guidance. We are not going to make him look exactly like this. We're going to use him for guidance to get a basic drawing done, and then we will paint him and we will make him our own as always. Hey, Jamie. Yay, you're here. I'm so excited. All right, so let's talk about kind of what we're going to be using today. Again, this was done, we did this one before the new year. So this was our other little animal tutorial that we did. So it was a little kitty cat, a little calico. All right, so these are the tutorials that we have done so far this week. And they have been super fun. I've enjoyed doing all of them. We're going to do a rabbit today. And I want to talk about the supplies that we're going to be using so everybody kind of knows what they need to have. So let's go through all of that. First, we are going to be needing some pencils to do our drawing. These are the ones that I use. I love these. These are the Nick Pro mechanical pencils. This is my very favorite pencil set for all things drawing. And it is because you get all the sizes. You get the 7, the 5, the 9, and the 2.0 all in the mechanical pencil. They have this little indicator here that you can turn based on the kind of lead that you have in it, and you get all your leads. You get your 2B, your HB, your 6B, your 4B, your 2Hs, and your HB. So you get all of the leads that you need from a hardness standpoint. in this set, along with some colored lead. You get extra erasers, you get a kneaded eraser, you get 3 of these big erasers, and you get some pencil sharpeners here as well. I'm using an HB today. I'll be using the 0.5 HB to do our drawing. So, but you can do, I found you on last night and made the raccoon a really, yay! How did you like it, Lisa? Did you do well? I see the butt. What does butt mean? I'm sure it turned out perfectly. Hi, Kinder, Kelly. How are you? All right, guys. So, sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, so I'm going to be using the 0.5. That's my neurodivergency kicking in, but I messed up the splatter. It looks like a... That's all right. The splatter takes a little bit of practice. You have to just tap loosely, and you have to learn how much water to put on your brush and all of that. So practice on a separate sheet of paper before you do it on your actual painting, and that'll help some. But it's okay. I'm sure it looks great. Send it to me so I can look at it. I love to see everybody's creations. All right. So this, thank you for the rose so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Rochelle. Okay, so we are going to be using, or I'm going to be using the 0.5. So if you, and an HB lead. Okay, if you have your favorite pencil, go ahead and use that. Jess, thank you for the rose. Whatever your favorite pencil is fine. You don't have to use what I do. I just want everybody to know what I use. This is my favorite drawing set. I use it for everything when I'm sketching. It is a really, really good set to draw with. So if you're looking for a good set for all of your sketching needs, this covers everything. Okay, so that's what I'll be using today for our pencil. Okay, then we're going to need, this covers everything. Okay, so that's what I'll be using today for our pencil. Okay, then we're going to need some paper, 2.5 by 3.5 size. Hang on one second, guys. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I don't need this set, but I need the set. I know, right? I feel the same way, Jess. I'm obsessed with all things art, so I tend to get way more supplies than I need. But hey, I always have what I need when I need it. So, and I'm of the opinion that one cannot have too many art supplies ever. You can never have too many art supplies, coffee mugs, candles, or light up reindeer. That is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Sorry, I've got glue on here I want to pull off so it doesn't mess up when I pull my tape. Okay, so we are using the 2.5 by 3.5 size, which is the ACEO size. However, this comes in a 5 by 7 size, and you can cut it in 4 equal 2.5 by 3.5 sizes with no waste. So you don't end up with a little bitty slip of paper down here at the end that you can't use. Like this perfectly cuts into the 2.5 by 3.5 inch size. So that's great. It makes 4. So in a set of 20, you get 20 sheets in this. So you would end up with 80 ACO sizes in this paper, which is great. That's why I like this size. They do have other sizes, but this is my particular size that I like the most. So that is the paper that we're going to be using this morning. And guys, paper makes a difference. I'm not playing around when I say that. You can definitely tell the difference between I used a lower quality paper on this bear because I was like, I'm going to order some already pre-cut so I don't have to cut them myself because I was being lazy. Well, I ordered 100 of these, guys. I used this paper on Monday and I was like, bleh, nope, didn't work. I want you guys to see the difference in the quality. You can tell. I mean, look at the texture of this paper versus the texture of this paper. Look at the color and the vibrancy of this compared to the vibrancy of this. I mean, you can just tell. I mean, it's obvious. Sorry, I'm going to try to get this situated here. It's obvious to me the difference in the paper. Okay, it makes a difference. So if you don't have a good paper, I would highly recommend that you spend Sorry, that's my dog back there. That you spend some, invest in a good pack of paper. Hey, Stacy Lee, welcome in, welcome in. All right, so that's the paper that we're going to be using today. I will be taping it down, and I will be taping it down to a piece of wood because I like to, and I've got to find my piece of wood right now. Here it is. Because I like to be able to move mine around, so I always put it on wood instead of taping it to my desk. That way I have the ability to do that. All right? Okay. So that is the other thing you're going to need. You're going to need some watercolors. All right? So this is the watercolors that we will be using today. This is the Meeden 96 color set. Oh, good. Yeah, it makes it easier if you can move your paper around, Stacy Lee. So this is the Meeden 96 color set. Oh, good. Yeah, it makes it easier if you can move your paper around, Stacy Lee. So this is the Meeden 96 color set. They have a 48 color set that I use. A ride or die palette. I loved it, and I will always, always love it. But the difference is this has 48 regular colors, but it's also got 30 of your metallics, 12 of your macaroons, and 6 of your neons. So really, really like that. Stacy Lee, thank you for the heart me. So this is just a little bit bigger color option palette is all. It still comes with a brush and a pencil. It still comes with an eraser. It comes with 2 art sponges, and it comes with this fold out palette right here. That's also detachable, so I always keep it beside me so I can mix my paints if I need to. So this is the Meeden 96 color palette. Again, the 48 color palette is amazing as well. I love both of these palettes equally. I'm just using the 98 color palette or the 96 color palette because it has a few more color options. All right. I have them both, and you cannot go wrong with either one of them. All right. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. What else? Yes, the paint is amazing, Stacey Lee. I love this paint. It's very bright, very vibrant. As you can see from all of our paintings, we've used that palette on all of these this week, and they all look beautiful. And if you've missed these tutorials this week, guys, and you are wanting them, you can find them on my Tube of You channel. They're all uploaded already. Every one of them are already uploaded for this week. So if you're looking to do if you're looking to do these replays, you can get them on my Tube of You channel, okay? And you can find that on my TikTok page. So just know that I upload the replays when I'm finished with my lives so that you guys have access to the replays, okay? All right. Thank you, Polly. Okay, so now we have our paints. We know we need paint. We know we need our paper. We know we need our pencils. We've gone through that. The next thing is we're going to need some brushes, okay? So here are the brushes that I'm going to be using today. I will first be using the Meeden brush set. It is, I have the 4 brush I'm going to be using today. I will first be using the Meeden brush set. It is, I have the 4 brush set, which is the 1 and the 3, the 5, and the 7. Okay. And these brushes have amazing, amazing water retention. Like, they hold water really well. They also keep their shapes really well. So you can even do, like, when I dip this big one in water, you can see how that tip does. So you can even do detail work with this teeny tiny little tip on this big brush because they hold their shape really well. They also are very tight around the ferrule. They don't loosen up, and the ferrule will not rust. This metal right here is designed not to rust. So you don't end up with rust in your water or in your art, which is great. Hey, Golden Girl, I'm doing good. I'm so glad to see you here this morning. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, thank you. They're also very short, and you can control your strokes really easily. They have this ergonomically correct handle, so it reduces hand fatigue. So if you're painting for several hours, your hand doesn't get as tired. So these are a great brush set, and brushes make a difference, guys. These upgraded my art so much when I went ahead and purchased these. I used the brush that came with the kit with the watercolor paints for a while, probably 6 months or so before I purchased these. But I will tell you that when I purchased these, my art leveled up quickly because this is a professional brush set, and you're not paying professional prices either, because you can get these for under 40 bucks. And sometimes a professional brush this size right here would cost you almost $40 just for this one brush. So this is a great price for these brushes, and they are professional brushes. So they will definitely last you, and they will level up your art. So if you're looking for a professional brush set that won't break the bank, this is the set for you. All right. So that is that set. And then the other thing that we're going to be using is we'll be using some detail brushes. Now, I'm going to tell you that I did see that Meeden added a detail brush set to their shop this week. I'm going to pin it right here. I have not used them, but I love Meeden stuff. There's only been one Meeden product that that I do not recommend, but everything else I've tried from Meeden, I've absolutely loved. So these are the tiny brush set from Meeden. So these are some detail brushes. These are not what I will be using, however, today. I will be using the golden maple, because that is what I have. I have reached out to Meeden to see if I could get a set of these brushes to try them out. So we'll see if they approve them or not. Hopefully they will. However, what I will be using today is this set, and I absolutely love this set. Okay, this is the golden maple detail set. It has a 0, a 0, 0, and a 1 in it. And this set is the set that I will be using today. I'm looking for the other 2 brushes that come in this set, and I don't know what I've done with them, you guys. I must have stuck them somewhere else. I'll have to find them. But this is the one I'm going to be using anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is the 0, 0, but it comes with 3 different brushes. Also, I might use this Golden Maple 18 over 0, but I don't know yet. And this one comes in their large set, but these are out of stock right now, so I can't pin them because they're out of stock. But they have this has amazing brushes in it. I love it. It also comes with that nice case, so I may be using that as well. All right, but you just need a detail brush. Now, the other thing that we're going to use today. Sorry, I hit my mic. I'm not used to wearing this mic. I am absolutely so excited about are these. Okay, and let me find them because I put them away yesterday, and I want to make sure that I have them available to use today. So y'all give me just 1 second. I stacked everything yesterday, and I want to make sure. What did I do with those? Oh, I'm going to be so disappointed if I've stuck them somewhere and don't have time to find them because, I'm going to be so disappointed if I've stuck them somewhere and don't have time to find them because, they are amazing. I played around with them some in my Draw Your Day journal, which was pretty cool. They are like the microns, except that they're made by Grabby. What did I do with those, y'all? I'm so disappointed. If I'm not going to be able to use them today, I'm going to be so sad. Not that I don't love my microns, because I absolutely do, but these have colors, and my microns are all black. And when you have the option for the colors, you can actually do your shading with the colors that you want to use. And then when you come back in with colored pencil, you have a better look to your shading. Y'all, I can't believe I can't find them. I'm so disappointed that I'm not going to be able to use them today. I'm going to have to hunt them down. My studio is a wreck. I came home from vacation and I had so many different, I had so many packages, so many TikTok packages that I got in over while I was gone. And so it's been kind of crazy. Oh, here they are. I found them. Yay. Okay. All right. Here they are. So this is them. They are the grabby multi-liners. So if you love the microns, which I do, the thing about these that I love is that they have a 0.003, whereas I have the 0.005 and up. I've never seen a 0.003, but it is small, 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 and that is going to give us so much better range to do our detail work. Plus, we have all of these colors that we can use as well. And they're waterproof and archival just like the other ones are, but you have the options, you have different size options. So I am excited to use these today instead of the normal ones that we use, which are these, just because I want to try them out. I played with them again, like I said yesterday. So those are going to be something that we are going to be using as well for all of our detail work. Okay. All right. So we have, and then the last thing that we're going to use today are going to be our colored pencils for the shading and the shading work that we do. So, Stacy, this size, I have no idea what size this is. Let me just measure it. It is 4 by 6. So this is a 4 by 6 sheet of wood. You can make it whatever size you want as long as it's bigger than the picture that you're painting. All right, so we will also be using our So Color colored pencils. It is a 72 color set, and let me find them for you guys. Where are they? Right, I don't know why I always have trouble finding the pencil set. It's product number 32. That's why it's way at the bottom. Okay, so we will be using these as well today for the shading. So a lot of the shading that brings our little guys to life is done with our colored pencils. So we are going to be using those on top of after we do all of the watercolors. All right. So that is all of the supplies that we're going to be using today. So I hope that you guys are ready to go. You guys give me some comments. Thumbs up in the comments if you're ready to get started. I'm going to go ahead and start taping our comments. Thumbs up in the comments if you're ready to get started. I'm going to go ahead and start taping our taping off our paper. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to tape off. I'm going to use some washi tape today. I used painter's tape yesterday, but I really want to use washi tape that I can see through and try to get my edges a little bit more even, easier, because it does tend to be harder to see through that painter's tape. So I'm going to use this washi tape that I have right here, and I'm going to tape off my edges with that. I used the Meeden tape a couple of times and it just bled through. I don't like it. So I just want you guys to know that I don't put that in my stuff in my shopping cart anymore because I'm not a fan of the Meeden tape. It just doesn't, it bleeds through and you don't get clean edges. So just so you guys know, that is why it is not in my shopping cart. And it's the one thing that I really don't recommend from Meeden. All right, Kinder Kelly says she's ready. Martha, good morning. Show and tell. How are you? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. And I love Meeden products. I do. I love all of their stuff, but I don't like their tape. It really does bleed through. And I tried it several times thinking maybe it was user error the first time. So we used it on 2 different ones. We used it on, actually 3 different times. I used it on this little guy, and you can see, well, I don't know if you can see that because it's such a light background, but it bled through. And then I used it on this guy, and you can definitely see there how it bled through. So the edges are not clean. And then we used it again here, and you can see it bled through. So I tried it 3 times. I really wanted to like it, but it just didn't work. So, and then yesterday we used just regular painter's tape, and you can see how clean my lines are on this. You see the difference? So that is definitely Definitely one of the products from Meaden that I don't recommend. Yeah, just get you some good washi tape. Just get some good washi tape and call it a day. That's what I do. And it works well. Or painter's tape, blue painter. Yesterday we used the blue painter's tape. Today we're using washi tape. The reason I'm using washi tape today is because I can see through it better, so I can make sure my lines are even and uniform better with washi tape than I can the blue painter's tape. But either one will work. And the blue painter's tape, you can figure out your borders. It just is a little bit more, takes a little more effort, and I just didn't want to put the effort forth this morning. Okay. All right, guys. So we are gonna get started now. Hopefully everybody's ready. I'm going to show you guys, you know what I think I'm going to do? Because I'm going to show you guys our inspiration picture in a minute. And then I'm going to put you guys onto the overhead view. It's kind of stopped raining, so I don't think it is loud. It's as loud as it was. So I'm going to go ahead and take this microphone off because it plugs into the bottom of my phone and it's going to mess up my ability to give y'all an overhead view. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. So that you guys can get the overhead view. All right, so y'all give me just 1 second. I'm going to turn this mic off. All right. That should hopefully, is it too loud for you guys? It's still raining just slightly, but I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be too loud. You guys let me know. If I need to plug this mic back in and because it gets too loud, y'all can let me know if you're having trouble hearing. But, oops. Sorry, guys. I just want to put this away so I don't lose it. All right. Okay, so what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be doing a rabbit. That was one. Good. Thank you, Jamie, for that. Perfect. Thank you, Martha. So we're going to be doing a rabbit today. That was one of the animals on the list. And this is the one I picked out. It's simple and to the point, but we're going to, we're going to obviously make it fun and make it our own. But it's AI generated. It's very simple. This is the one that I chose for us today. This is AI generated, so it is not somebody's artwork. We're going to use it, but we're not going to copy it. I mean, obviously we're going to use it for our general drawing, and then we're going to paint it and we're going to make it our own. I think what I might do is some hearts around it or maybe some flowers. I'm not sure yet. It's going to be super cute. But we are definitely going to do, it's going to be a rabbit when we get done or a bunny or whatever you want to call it. All right. So that is our picture today. So if you guys want to take your screenshot so you have it, now is the time to go ahead and screenshot him or her, whatever you want to decide that they are. Now is the time to do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. And now we are going to get started. Remember, we're drawing in shapes. Okay, this is going to be a fairly simple, I say this, every time I say it's going to be a simple drawing, it turns out to be a disaster. So I'm not going to say that, but it should be. So I'm going to grab my pencil set. I'm going to go ahead and pin that so that you guys have it. Know what I'm using. The pencil set I'm using is the Nick Pro that we talked about earlier. And I will be using the 0.5. Okay, and I'm going to move y'all to the overhead view. So give me just a second to find my tripod, which is also in here somewhere. Uh-oh, y'all. What did I do with my tripod? This could be a problem, y'all. I don't see my tripod. Oh, here it is. Y'all, I swear. I told y'all I was going to get more organized this year. And I have gotten more organized with a lot of my supplies, but a lot of other things I'm still not organized on. But I am working on it. By the end of this year, my studio is going to be functional and organized. So, y'all just be patient with me in the process because I am getting things very slowly. I am getting things that are keeping me organized. Samantha, I use ChatGPT, and let me tell you how I do it. I take my paintings and I just take a snapshot of a couple of my paintings, and I say, this is my painting style. Please create me a cute bunny in my painting style that I can use as a reference photo to paint with watercolors or with acrylics or whatever medium that you want to use. And that's the prompt. And then it generates me an image. And that's what I use. So just so you guys know, the prompt that I use is, here is my painting style in the photo that I have uploaded. Create me a reference photo, inspiration photo to use so that I can paint with watercolor. And it'll create you one. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move you guys to here now. Y'all let me know if I cover my microphone up and you can't hear me. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to pay close attention to that, but it does happen. So, all right. Now let me get y'all situated. All right, let's move these out of the way, and I will zoom y'all in right there. Okay, does that look good for everybody? Everybody can see? We are ready to get going on this bunny. Just tuned in, and we are doing a bunny today. Yes, Tina, we're doing a bunny today. Do you need the reference photo really quickly? I don't know if you can comment. If anybody has a screenshot of it, then can comment. I don't know if you can comment with photos on a live, but right, Mass Mom? Everybody needs to be organized, right? Okay, hang on one second. Let me go ahead and zoom y'all back out. Let me just, oops. Let me get this out of here first. All right, so let me get you guys one more time. We will get the reference photo for everybody. All right, here is the reference photo. If you need to screenshot it, everyone go ahead and screenshot. And we will be, remember, it's not going to look like this when we get done. Do not have any expectations. All right, this is just for reference. It's just to get our drawing done. Everything else we're going to do ourselves, and we're going to make it our own. So don't have any expectations, all right? Mass Mom, thank you so much for reaching the level 8 of the fan club. I'm so excited for that. Thank you, thank you. Yep, y'all don't forget to get your fan club engagement points. It does help your account as well as mine, so. All right. Okay, all right, so there we are. Let me go ahead and put y'all back up here and get you guys locked in. All right, does that look good to everybody? Are we okay? Okay. All right, then we are going to get going. Let me get this reset. Thank you, Elsie. Yeah, that's just an AI generated image. It's not anything we've done. We are not copying someone else's art, but we're going to use it and as a reference to do what we're going to do today. All right, guys. Okay, so we are using the Nik Pro. I'm using the Nik Pro 0.5 mechanical pencil in an HB lead, in case you guys are wondering about that. All right. Okay, we're going to be coloring in we're going to be drawing in the shapes first, and we're going to start with the heart, which is the center of the image. So what you're going to do is go ahead and draw your heart in the very center of your image. And don't worry about where the hands go, because we will just erase. Remember, light touch when you're doing your sketches. You don't want anything to be too dark. You want to be able to erase. Y'all don't let me forget to do the background today like we did yesterday. Okay. All right, so we have our heart, And now we can draw our hands. And our hands are just basically ovals with a little bit of a point on them. Just like that. Okay, that's pretty much how our hand's gonna look. Erase the line that's in the middle of it. Now we'll add detail and make the hair and everything, and it'll look more like a hand when we get done. All right, so again, over here, same thing. We're doing kind of an oval shape with a little bit of a pointy tip on the end. Okay, so we have our hands. Now, the cheeks, actually the arm comes out like this. So let's go ahead and pull the arm out right here on this side. And then the cheeks come out from the heart. So they're circles. So we've got our circle, our cheek right here, that's a circle. And our cheek right here, that's a circle. Okay. We're not going to complete the circle because we have the nose and everything that has to go there. Let me just make sure this is coming in far enough. Be sure you have your eraser because you know we're going to have to erase always. All right, now let's go ahead and do the nose, which is right here is an oval, and right here is an oval. And then the nose itself. Actually, I think those touch. Yeah, they do. Sorry. Let's try again. Okay. So our nose is, let's do our little nose in the center first, like this. It's a little upside down triangle. Okay. And then we bring our ovals in, our little poofy ovals. Like that. Okay, and then we have this comes down. And this is part of our mouth right here. And then this is part of our mouth right here. And then we have our teeth. Okay, so erase. Let me see where our teeth come from. Yeah, right here. So erase this little line that goes right across the bottom of the mouth and connect that with our teeth. So our teeth come down with our teeth. So our teeth come down just like that. All right, and then we have another circle for the head, like this. And we're gonna do the ears. Now the ears are gonna be kind of like a big long oval. That comes almost to a point where they attach. Okay, then we're gonna have the inner part of the ears. Same shape. Okay. Eyes come up from the nose right here. Like that. And then we have the body. The body comes out from the hands. Okay. And then we have the feet, which, hang on, sorry guys. Am I in the picture? Okay. I've got to shrink this down, guys. Hang on one second. There we go. Okay. Let me fix his little belly. It looks a little weird. I think he comes out, he's more round than oval, so I'm going to make him rounder. Okay, so we're gonna go. Told y'all, anytime I say that it's gonna be easy, I'm lying. His body, I'm having trouble with his belly. There we go. All right, now let's put his feet on there. His feet kind of come up from the side of his belly and they go down like this. They're like a little parenthesis shape with flat bottoms. And then again, up here, flat bottoms. And then again, up here with our little flat bottoms. And we are going to give his little toes. Now, he looks funky and all over the place, but I promise you, when we put on the color and we start doing all the details, remember how funky these little guys started out, okay? They were crazy. They looked like a hot mess when we started, okay? So just know that. All right, let's see. I'm just catching up on comments. All right, everybody all right? All right, we ready? Okay, so we're gonna make, let me fix his little belly there. Make any changes you need to your drawing before we start putting color on, because we are about to start putting the color, the base coating down on our little bunny. And I'm gonna make his arm come out like that. And I'm gonna make his belly come out like that. Okay, so he's got this fat little belly. I still think he needs to come in a little bit more. I don't know, guys, why I can't get his body right. It's just an oval. I learned how to do this in kindergarten. There we go. Much better. Okay. All right. So now we have our base drawn. Okay. He's going to have some little hair right here, just so you guys know. All right. So we have our base drawn. If you feel like that you have any areas that need to be refined, do that. But we are going to move on. You guys give me some thumbs up in the comments if you are ready, or if I need to slow down, or if you have any questions so far on what we're doing. All right. Let me know in the comment section, because I want to make sure that everything is good. Thank you, Gail. All right. Everybody got theirs drawn? Thank you, Samantha. Okay. All right. Well, it is time to do the background next. All right. So what we're going to do, Tina says she's ready to move on. That's good. Anybody else? Everybody's good? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay. Let me go ahead and check on my reference drawing, so I know what we're doing. Would round the right side of the heart just a little bit. This one, this side, because I don't know what's right to you, or this one here. Watching along from work. Awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our background. Just making sure all these extra lines that I erased are erased good before we do our background. Okay, widen this out. Let's see if I can do that. not sure. Now I've messed it up. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure this is where I want it before we move on. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, this is messed up. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure I have this done the way that, of course, we're going to, when we put color on it, we can always fix this part too, but I'm going to do it now because it's easier. There we go. Okay, now we are going to add our background. So here's how we're going to do that, guys. We are going to take our large brush. We're going to be using the Meeden brush set. So if you guys are wondering what brushes I use, these are the brushes I'll be using. They are the Meeden brush set, and I told you guys about them earlier, but they have this ergonomic handle, so it reduces hand fatigue. It's short, so it's really easy to control your strokes. This doesn't rust around the ferrule, and the ferrule stays nice and tight. They hold a ton of water because they're synthetic squirrel hair. They have a point on them, so you can even do detail work with these larger brushes. Love, love, love this brush. So this is the 7. I only have the 4 brush set. It comes with the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7. But there is a 9 brush set as well, Jamie, if that's what you're asking. But I don't have the 9 brush set. Okay, so make sure you have clean water and dip your brush into that clean water and go ahead and put it all over your page. We are going to do our background. I'm going to do a background with... I think I want to use blue. I'm going to do a blue background. Any blue that you want to use. I'm going to use kind of a medium blue. And I'm going to put it all over my paper, just like this. I've got something on my brush. Okay. Now I'm going to dry my brush. And I'm going to pick up all of that color. Okay, and then I'm going to just blot, and now we have just a small tint of blue on our background. It looks almost white, but it is blue. It's not going to show when we paint our bunny, so you don't have to worry about that, but you're going to have this cute frame when we peel this tape off of here. All right, go ahead and dry your background before we start putting our paint on. All right. All right, he is dry. So now we are going to move to our Meeden number 1 brush. All right. The smallest one in the set. All right. And what we're going to do is we are going to make his base color first. Now remember, this is important for everybody to understand. As we do this, he is going to look like a complete hot mess until we get the detail work on. So don't get discouraged. Don't freak out. I promise you it's going to be beautiful when you're done. But you cannot have any expectations because it's going to look like a hot mess when you start, all right? So I don't want anybody to go, oh my gosh, I can't do this. He's just not turning out, okay? I promise you he's gonna, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mixing pad. This is the color, the base color that we used on our giraffe and also on our raccoon. right here, and it's a mixture of bisque and a little bit of ochre. So I'm going to mix some more of that up. Let me get my paints out. Okay, so we're using the Mead and paints. These are right here. Okay, that's what we're using, just so you guys know. And I'm going to use this bisque color first. And I'm going to put it down. And then I'm going to use this ochre color. These just pop out in this kit. Okay, so I'm going to take this ochre color and I'm going to put that in there. Just a little bit of it. I don't know why I grabbed so much. More bisque. Mix it around. We want to come up with a light tan color. Okay, that's the color we're going for. Okay, and we are going to use that for our base color around the sides of his belly. Actually, I'm going to draw in his little oval right here, just so I kind of know where that's at. And we're going to go around his belly with this base color. Okay, so go ahead and just fill that in with that light color. And his hands and arms. Okay, and while that is wet, I'm going to rinse my brush, and I am going to grab just a teeny tiny bit of that ochre color. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and give it some shadows right along the base here. Okay, and while it's wet, so it can spread on its own. Okay, there's also going to be a little bit of a shadow up here in the corner, so go ahead and put some there. Like right where his hand is, because his hand is creating a shadow on his belly. Same thing right here. His hand is creating a shadow on his belly. So you want to put that shadow in. Okay. Once you've done all of that, go ahead and give it a quick dry. We'll move on to the head. Okay, again, he's going to look like a hot mess right now, and that's okay. All right, we're going to dip into that lighter color again, and we're going to move on to his cheeks. Around his teeth. Okay. Y'all let me know if I get out of screen, because I can't see my screen. Hey, Feral Mom, how are you? Thank you for the gift, whoever that was. I can't see my screen. Yay, I love it. Oh, it was Feral Mom. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we are putting the light color in. Go ahead and go around the little cheeks, the little puffy cheeks that we have. We want to leave those white. Technically, we should have left under his mouth a white as well, but that's okay. We'll fix that with some shading, so I'm not worried about that. But definitely leave his little cheeks white. All right, so we have his head done. Now, while it's wet, we want to put in some shading right here at the base, right down here. So just grab a little bit of that ochre and drop it in there. We want that to be a little darker. And we also want to have some shading right around the heart, because the heart is going to be casting a shadow. Okay, if you get too much, just dry your brush, pick it up. It's really easy to correct that. Just dry your brush off and pick up your color, just like that. Okay. All right, so we want that shading there. And then we also want to make his little pink cheeks, okay, while it's still wet. So we have our pink that can spread naturally. So we're gonna take some of the Barbie pink. Actually, this isn't the Barbie pink. This is the macaroon pink. I'm gonna take some of that. Not too much though, because it'll overpower everything. And just kind of touch right where you want the pink on his cheeks to be. And let it spread out on its own. So he's gonna have these cute little pink cheeks. Okay. And now we're going to dry that. Now it's going to be time to move on to his, I got a piece of glitter on there. All right, now it's gonna be time to move on to his ears. So reach in and grab some of that light color again. And go ahead and paint the outsides of his ears. Okay. So we have those done. Now we want to have some shadows in his ears. So while it is still wet, and mine's not really wet, it dried pretty fast. So I'm going to add some water to it because I want to make sure that this is a wet on wet technique. So you want to make sure your paper is wet. You're going to take your shadow color and you're just going to kind of dab it and let it spread on its own where it needs to go to darken those up. And don't worry, we'll fix that with colored pencil later. We're going to do some more. We do want to kind of bring in right at the base where his ears connect, kind of make that join with this little shadow. Okay, so we have that, and we're also going to have some shadow on the insides of his ears, but we'll do that with the pink. So rinse your brush, go ahead and get your macaroon pink and do the inside of his ears with the pink. Don't worry if a little bit of it gets into the brown. That's not a big deal because we're going to be putting hair there and it's going to kind of make it look like it's all together. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now let's do a darker pink for the shadow. So find a darker pink and go ahead and shadow right around the top and the left side of the inside of his ear. And then the top and the right side of the inside of his ear. Rinse your brush, dry it off, and pick up any color that's kind of overtaken. That's what I'm doing with this pink right here. Sometimes you have to layer, and that's okay. All right, so we have that base. Now we're going to do his belly. Oh, actually, we've got to do his feet. Sorry, let's do his feet first. Let's go ahead and put the base on his feet. And keep in mind, his belly is going to give his feet some shadows. So we want to make sure that we shadow out those feet. So get your ochre and put some shadows right across here and here where his belly is kind of blocking his feet. Again, don't worry about it looking like a hot mess. I promise you it's going to come out. It's going to look really nice when we get finished. Just trust the process. Like I always say, trust the process. I feel like I need to have a shirt that says trust the process. All right. Okay, so now we have his feet done. So now we're going to do his belly. Which colored pencil set are you using? I'm going to use the So Color pencil set. Feral Mom, let me show you. It's product number 32. Right here. That is the pencil set that I have that I will be using. I love, love, love it. I wish that it had more than 72 colors. So I'm currently looking for a set that has more than that, but we'll see if I find one. But that is definitely, but it's not because I don't love the pencils. I love the pencils. I just feel like I want more color options. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. I have sneezed all morning long. Goodness, that's the third time I've sneezed today during this live. Okay. So that's the colored pencil set that I'm using later. Currently, we are using this medium palette. Okay. All right, so let's do the belly next. So let me go ahead and put back my paints that I've used up till now so that I don't get confused. Okay, we're gonna need the black and we're gonna need the white and gray. Okay, so those are what we're using now. We are going to, I think what I'm going to do is a wet on wet with this, okay? So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and let's switch to the detail brush. Go ahead and switch to your Golden Maple detail brush. That is these right here. That are these, okay? These are the brushes that I'm going to use right now. I'm going to empty my water and get some clean water. So go ahead and dump your water, get your clean water, and we're gonna do a wet on wet. So I'm gonna take this detail brush and I'm gonna go ahead and get my little fuzzies, little fuzzy cheeks right here that are white. I'm gonna get them wet, okay? Because I want to do a wet on wet blend. So go ahead and make sure they just have to be glistening. They don't need to be drenched, okay? Take some of your gray and add right at the top some gray. Just a little bit. Okay. Then rinse your brush and blend it. So you have a very light gray. Okay, so it contrasts from the background. So while it's supposed to be white, it's just got enough of a gray tint that you can tell it's not the background paper. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing with the belly. So we're gonna switch back to the number 1 brush for the belly. We're gonna go around the heart with this clear water. Okay. And we're going to take some of the gray. We're going to go right along the base of the heart. Rinse your brush. And then spread it out. And you're going to have just enough of a gray tint to your belly that you're going to be able to tell that it's not the background paper. So you guys can see kind of what color the belly is now as opposed to what it was. So it's still technically white, but it's enough of a tint that it's not just the background, okay? Are we good so far? Everybody doing all right? Hey, Rhonda. Sorry, I just saw your comment. Thank you about saying the bunny's cute. Yes, I think he's cute, but he's a hot mess right now, but he's going to be super cute when we get finished. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the heart now. For the heart, what we're going to do is we're going to do that same technique. We're going to do wet. We're going to make him wet. He just needs to glisten. He doesn't have to be drenched. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 different pinks, okay? We're going to do that light macaroon pink that we used earlier. We're going to do that first. So we're going to put that down in the middle of the heart and just spread that around. Okay. Good. And then we're going to take the dark pink that we used for the shadow in his ear, and we're going to do that right over here in this upper corner. And rinse your brush and go ahead and blend that down. So we have just a little bit of a shadow in that left corner. Okay. All right, now switch to your detail brush and grab the, let's see, what color do we want to make his nose? Do we want to do like an orangish nose, a peachy nose, or a pink nose? I think we should do a pink nose. So I'm going to go ahead and use that same light macaroon pink, and I'm going to do his nose. Just like that. Okay. Now we're gonna leave his teeth. We'll deal with that in a minute. Let's go ahead and dry him up. Okay, now you can see right here that a little bit of this pink bled. And so this is what I do when I want to fix something like that. I get clean water. Let me just dump my water here and get some clean water. Okay, I get clean water and I just rub it all over that area. Blend it all out. Just rub it all over that area. Blend it all out. Dry my brush, pick it up, and that takes it all away. Okay, so now I'm going to dry it again. And you can now see that it's gone. All right. Now, if I had done this a little differently, I would have made him a little shorter and made his ears a lot bigger. I kind of ran out of room, and that's on me. I made the heart a little bit too big. And I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. We're going to go with it. And the next time I paint a bunny, I'll know that that is something I need to fix. So that's what I love about learning, is that we always learn from our mistakes. And that was my mistake today. And next time I'll know. Hang on, I'm going to take some supplements real fast. Sorry, I'm still in the middle of my morning supplement stack. Still taking those. I take like 10 supplements in the morning and like 7 at night. So, okay. Do you ever use watercolor pencils? I do. Feral Mom, I have some of the Neocolor crayons. And I love them and I use them sometimes, yes. I do have some watercolor pencils, but I don't use them that often. I mostly, if I'm going to use something like that, I usually use the Neo 2 color pencils or colored crayons. And I love that set. It's quite pricey. That was a birthday gift from my husband several years ago. because it's a quite pricey little set, but I love it so much. Okay. You know what, guys? We could do a little bit darker around the edges of this and do a really pretty highlight like we have in the picture, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to move on. Okay, guys, now we get to use the new Grabby multi-liners. I told y'all about them yesterday, and they came in after I got off a live yesterday, and I played around with them, and I absolutely love them. I'm so excited about this set. Okay, so instead of the microns today, we're going to be using the Grabby multi-liners. Let me grab them. So I set them over here out of the way. Y'all, why do I have so much trouble finding this set every time I need to use them? Super frustrating. What did I do with them? This is twice today I've done this, y'all. I don't get it. I swear. Here they are. All right. It's like they want to run from me. All right. So this is the set. I absolutely love it. They have all the different colors. We're going to use the 003 today, which is the one that I've never seen. I mean, that tip, you can't even hardly see it. It's like a strand of hair almost. But that's the point. We're going to be able to do the detail work with this 003. Okay, I usually use the 005, which is also a very teeny tiny tip. But I want you to see... I'm going to show you guys let me see. I don't want to get these mixed up. Okay, that's the 005. So let me grab a sheet of paper. Now you have to be extra careful with these because they are fine. So you don't want to press too hard because you'll mess them up. Okay, so it's just slightly smaller, as you can see, slightly smaller than the 005. You use them just like you use colored pencils, Feral Mom, and then you just add water with a detail brush on them to blend them. So you're going to use them in a very similar way as to using colored pencils. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to pull out the 003. Y'all, this set, I'm not playing around. I have been waiting for this set to come in because I ordered them like, gosh, it was a while ago because they weren't on TikTok Shop. So I had to order them from their website, but they just put them on TikTok Shop. So like a couple days ago, they just came out on TikTok Shop. So I'm super excited about this. Super excited to get these. All right. So let me just put those off to the side. All right. So am I in the screen? I want to make sure I'm in. Okay. All right. So here's how we're going to do this. First, we're going to do the teeth, okay? Because I want to make sure that we get those teeth in, and we do the mouth. And again, it's a very light touch, guys. You don't want to press too hard. You will mess up the tip of your pencil. Okay, so there's our little mouth. I'm going to go ahead and bring the inside of his mouth kind of around like this. Okay, and bring his nose down. Okay, so these are just standard sketch lines is all we're doing right now. Okay, but we're fixing to start. We're going to put some hair around his little cheeks. Okay, so I was able to make that hair so much more fine and tiny with this 0.3 or 0.003. Okay, I don't want to bring it around his mouth, but I'm going to kind of just, yeah, there, like that. All right, now we're going to do the cheeks. So now off of here is where his whiskers come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up. I'm going to switch to a point. I'm going to switch to a 02. Okay, for his whiskers. So we're going to do that for the whiskers. And the whiskers come way out. So you have to kind of just, okay, and you don't want to, and that you don't want them to be uniform. You just want to like make them however they end up. Okay, because whiskers are never like perfect. You can even do like a short one if you want to, that doesn't come all the way out. All right, so we have his whiskers, and we're gonna do his eyes the same way, okay? So his eyes are gonna be like, or with the same pen, sorry, not the same way. So we want his eyes to be a little thicker. Okay, so there's his eyes. Let's go ahead and do the outline of the heart with the O2 as well. Now, here's where the cool part comes in with these. I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to get this pink. Okay. Now this is an 05, which is still fairly small. It's going to be obviously a lot bigger than the 005, but it's still fairly small. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the insides of his ears with the pink instead of the black. That's why I was excited about this set, because it's got colors. We could have even done his nose if we really wanted to, but we can give his nose a little shadow with this darker pink. Okay. Then, let's go ahead and put that up. Now, let's pull back out the 0.003. And let's give this little guy, let's bring this little guy to life. Are you guys ready for that? All right, we're going to make him some hair. Very, very light touch. We're not making it all crazy. We're just following the outline of his body. And we're just giving him hair where we feel like he needs it. And it can be all different directions. Animals don't groom their hair, so it doesn't matter what direction. I'm going to give him some extra little fluff right here. And it's okay if he looks a little flat right now, because remember, we're going to be adding shadows with the colored pencil in just a little while. And that's going to give him his dimension. Yes, detailing makes a huge difference. It just brings them to life for sure. Mrs. Megra, do I like these better than the micros? These are incredibly similar to the microns. I will tell you that I like the fact that they have a smaller one, the 003, which I've not ever found in the microns. I've only found the 005 in the microns. So I like that. I like that they have colors to them, because they do have colors, which I love. And, you know, I think that, and they're waterproof just like they are. So they're very similar. And I wouldn't say that I like them better. I would say I like the options of the colors and the sizes better. I love this 003 size because it's teeny, teeny, tiny. So you can do really good hair. And the hair just kind of brings it all to life. And I just sketch it in very small strokes. And then I add like little stray lines to mimic hair after that. So I'll pull them out a little further, go into the interior of the corners of the ears. Keep in mind you can do cross hatching where you want any of your shadows to go, like right here. I would want some shadowing. And we'll put in some colored pencil there too. But this is just kind of bringing him, making him feel more alive. And again, you can have little stray sections where the hair kind of just poofs out if you want to give him a little bit of character. Because again, this is supposed to be like a little whimsical rabbit. It's not like he's supposed to be real. Okay. Let's see. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's see, can you zoom on the detail a little? I can try. Let me see if I can get, does that help? Is that better? I don't want to do too much on his head here as far as the hair goes, but I will tell you this. I am going to pull out the brown and I'm going to give it just a few little swooshes. That's a technical term in case y'all were wondering. And because I want to bring out that brown color a little bit. So another thing I love about these Grabby is they have the color options. So I'm getting him some brown hair options too. I don't want to go too much in his face, but I do want to have some of those in there. And we can follow the contour of his cheeks. And the contour of his belly. And his feet. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out my colored pencils. Y'all, these, I highly recommend these. I really do. These are great. Martha, thank you for that purchase. You're gonna love these. I'm telling you, these are awesome. Love, love, love them. And you will too. So thank you for supporting my showcase and purchasing that. I appreciate it so much. I'm just gonna stick these in here. I'm not even gonna worry about it. They're gonna come out of this case anyway and go in my little Meeden Lazy Susan that I have beside me in just a little while. I'm just keeping them so I can do my video for Grabby since they sent them to me. Okay. All right, so next we're going to pull out our pencils. So we're going to pull out, these are the pencils that we're going to use, very similar to the ones we've used the last couple days. So we're going to use the black. Let me just pin these for you guys so you know what pencils we're using. Right here is the pencil set that we're using, okay? And we're going to use the coffee, the sepia. We're going to use the ochre, the dark ochre for his body. For his ears and the heart and all of that, we're using the blush and the rose violet. And then for the white belly, we're using the pale red gray, the black, and then we'll use the white for blending on everything. Okay, so those are the colors that we're using. And this is where you are going to see the dimension come through, guys. All right, so I'm telling you, this is where the magic happens. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do this ear first so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now we layer these pencils. You know what? I may need a different pink. Let me look at my set and see if there is another pink that I need, because sometimes doing a three color blend instead of a two is helpful in larger areas. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, all right, so I'm going to pull the light pink as well. Oh, where are we? Yeah, light pink. So I've got the blush, the light pink, and then I've got the rose violet. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use for that. And here's how we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to go over the whole thing with this light, with this blush color. Okay, then we're going to go over, oh, I need to sharpen this. Hang on. Then we're going to go over the whole thing about midway to the ear with the medium light pink. And then with the rose violet, we're going to do just right around the ear here. Then we're going to layer that again. We'll go with the light over the whole thing, including all of the dark and medium. Then we'll layer again with the medium. And then we'll go with the dark. Again with the light. So remember, when you're doing your blends, you want to layer everything. If you don't layer, you end up with just pencil marks and you don't really have a good blend. Okay, but you want it to blend. Okay, so you can see the difference now between this ear and this ear. Okay, they both look good, but this one actually makes, it feels dimensional. It doesn't feel flat. Whereas this side looks really great, but it's flat. Yes, I do light over dark. Yeah, I have the expensive pencils too, Stacey Lee, and they're not as good as these. I love these. These are less expensive and still love them. Feral Mom, thank you for your purchase of those pens. You're going to like them. I mean, you're going to love them as much as you love the other ones. The difference is you've got the color options and you have that smaller size. And I really like that. So, okay, so we're going to do that again. So we're going to take our light. Let me sharpen it. And you're going to color the whole thing. You're going to take your medium and you're going to color about halfway down. Then you're going to take your dark and you're going to do just the edges and the corner. Okay, then you're going to do it again. You're going to take your light over the dark, over the medium, and over the light. Then you're going to take your medium over the dark and over the medium again. And then you're going to take your dark and you're going to go over the dark. And each time you use a little bit more pressure. So you do a light pressure to start, a medium pressure for the second layer, and a hard pressure for the third layer. Okay, so now we have the inside of our ears and they look so amazing. Found out the 200 count are not retractable and not as full as the ones we have. Oh, bummer. Well, I'm glad I'm glad I didn't reach out and get them. Because I would have been disappointed. Okay, now let's do the heart. Okay, so when we do the heart, now this is a large area, so this will show you kind of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about blending. All right, so we're going to use the light. We're going to go over this kind of dark area here. Okay, now you can see that pencil mark because I'm doing a light layer. Okay, now I'm going to go over it with a medium pink, and I'm only going to go out where that darkest area is in the shadowing. Okay, and then I'm going to do the dark, which is only going to be right here around this edge. Okay, now you can see the pencils. You can see how it doesn't blend. Okay, now we're going to do it again. We're going to go over it with a little bit more pressure this time with the light. Sometime in larger areas, you have to do more than 3 layers too, just so you know. But we're going to do all this light area. And we're going to do the medium. And this is with a medium pressure now. And then we do the dark. Okay, again, light. And everybody says, well, can't you just do that without putting the watercolor base on it? You can, but having the watercolor base and the shadows and everything gives it the dimension. If I did this without the watercolor base, it wouldn't have that dimension. It'll still look flat. The idea is to create an image that has the dimension to it. And the dimension comes from the two different mediums being used together. Okay, so you'll see how we blended that. And now we don't have, now we have that dimensional look of the heart. So it looks very, rounded, if that makes sense. I know they do, don't they? That's funny. Cheeks look like Wile E. Coyote. I do different directions and different circles and lines or whatever. It doesn't matter because once it blends, it's one solid color. So however you have to do it to fill in, to make sure you don't have any of those pencil marks. So you can use small circles, you can use lines, you can do a mixture of all of them. Okay. So there is the heart. So you see the difference now in what the heart looks like compared to what it started. Okay, and that's because we did the layers of pencil over the watercolor. All right, now we're going to move on to his body. So I'm going to pull out the ochre, the dark ochre, the coffee, and the sepia, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to use these three. We're going to use them in this order, and we'll pull in the sepia when we need it. So we're using the ochre. Oh, sorry, hang on. Let me look. We're using the ochre, the dark ochre, the coffee, and then when we need the sepia, we'll use that, okay? All right. So here's how we're going to do. First, we're going to go right here in the corners of where that shading is in his body, and we're going to bring that down. We're going to bring that light ochre in, okay? Then we're going to use the dark ochre a little further out, but we're still going to leave that light. That light needs to come further down. Sorry. Okay. And then we're going to use the coffee right at the very top right here. Okay, so again, we use the ochre. We use the dark ochre. Then we use the coffee. Okay, we're going to do that same thing over here. We use the ochre. The dark ochre, and the coffee. Ochre, a little bit more pressure. This is medium pressure. Dark ochre, medium pressure. Coffee, medium pressure. Okay, light ochre, hard pressure. Dark ochre, hard pressure. Coffee, hard pressure. Okay, and you see what that did to his hips? So now his hips have that really nice shading coming in. You go in circles when you blend the colors. I don't. I go in any direction that I need to cover up my pencil marks. Did you name yesterday's skunk? No, I haven't named him yet. I'm going to try to get a name for him today. I didn't have time yesterday. I do have him uploaded, though, to our Tube of You channel, for those of you who missed that yesterday and want the replay. All of the creatures from this week, all of our animals from this week, these four are all uploaded to our Tube of You channel. So if you missed any of these lives and you want the replay, you can get them on my Tube of You channel. Janster, thank you for that purchase of the pencils. You're going to love them. It's going to really level up your watercolor. It really will. Okay, so, and that was one of the things I wanted to do this year, was really start to level up my dimension and my ability to bring out like layers and to really show, to bring the characters to life. So that's what we're doing. So that's why I told y'all I was going to be doing more colored pencils. Have I used the Prisma pencils? I got a set of them for Christmas, was wondering how they compare. Okay, those are those are the ones that I said I've got the more expensive pencils, but I don't like them as well as these. Honestly, to me, I like these So Color better. I do like those pencils, and they are very well made and they're high quality and all the things, but to me, these are just as good. But I don't feel like that. I don't feel like you have to spend a ton of money like those cost to get a good set of colored pencils. These pencils are just as good to me. They work just as well, equally as well. Jaretha, you can find it on my TikTok channel. All you have to do is go to my TikTok page and look under my BIO, and there is a LINK tree. Click on that and it'll show you where my Tube of You channel is. It'll take you straight there. There's a button that's for you to link, and you can find all of my other social media platforms there. Sorry, I'm wiping my eye, y'all. Got something in my eye. Okay. All right. Now let's thank you so much. And Jaretha, they're in their entirety. So fast forward through all the product introduction and all that stuff. I upload them straight up there. So I don't edit them at all. So they are literally my lives in their entirety that I just upload to my Tube of You so that you guys can have the replay. Penny, you can grab the replay. This will be uploaded no later than tomorrow, maybe by this afternoon if my internet cooperates. So you can grab the replay. I'm sorry that you missed it. But he is cute. We're not quite done with him yet. We still are working on shadows. Okay, so now we are going to do his feet shadows. Okay, remember, we're doing light pressure the first time. So we're going to go right around his little belly right here with the whole light ochre and his feet. Okay, and then we're going to take the dark ochre and we're going to go around that, but we're not going to go up quite as high. And down his feet, but not quite as low. And then we're going to take the coffee and do the same, but less. So we're going to bring that coffee right around his belly right here and right on the top of his feet and his heel. Okay. And then we're going to do it again. Now we're going to go medium pressure. And then medium pressure with the dark ochre. And then medium pressure with the coffee. Okay, then we're going to do it again. Heavy pressure with the ochre. And then heavy pressure with the dark ochre. And heavy pressure with the coffee. Okay, so now you can see that his feet has that dimension as well. Yes, Feral Mom, these are the So Color brand. S-O-U, right here. SOUCOLOR. I think they're by like A and Z Logistics or something. I can't remember the name of the shop. But I've got them pinned below. They're pinned on the screen. Yes, watercolor layer first. And then we did the microns, or we used the grabbies. We did the grabby multi-liners today. We used the grabby multi-liners today, which is product number, I can't remember. Product number 6. We used the grabby multi-liners, not the microns. And then we used the, now we're using the colored pencils to bring out the shading in it. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do, let's shift over to the belly. We'll do his head and his ears in just a minute. Let's shift over to the belly though, because I want you guys to see that. Now I am going to use the white just to blend right here in the middle of his little flank. Just to kind of blend these, bring these two little shadow sections together. I love using the white to blend because it really brings it all together. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this light gray and we are going to go right up underneath his belly on both sides in the corners. So just follow the line of the heart and fill in those corners with a very light gray and a light touch. And then we're going to take the dark gray and we're going to go down in the corners, but not quite as far out. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with a medium touch, medium pressure. Dark gray, medium pressure. And then again, light with heavy pressure. And dark with heavy pressure. And then once I do that, if I think that it's not like I want it, I'll take the black and just in the corner, just a teeny tiny bit, I'll put heavy pressure right in the corner to bring that all together. Okay, so that's how his belly looks so far. Now we're going to go under the bottom of his belly. And we're going to do that same thing, but we're just going to go with the light gray. I'm going to use a medium pressure and I'm going to barely put it along the bottom. And then I'm going to go with the dark gray and I'm going to barely put it along the bottom. So it just kind of closes that out. Okay, now we're going to take the white and we're going to blend this all together. And now we have that beautiful dimensional belly in the center of our image. How stinking cute is he? Jamie, thank you for purchasing those pencils. You are going to love them. I appreciate that purchase so much. You're going to love these pencils. Okay, now let's move. Since we have the gray out, let's go ahead and move on up to his little poofy little nose area. Okay, and what I want to do with that from a shadow standpoint is I want to put most of the shadow over here on this little bottom left and right here in the bottom left. Okay, now go with the dark, just barely underneath there, just a very small bit. You have to be careful with these. You want them to be really sharp so you can get the small area. So if you have to sharpen them up because you don't want to get over, you don't want to overwhelm his little nose. I just keep my pencil sharpener right beside me so I can keep them really sharp if I need to. Okay. And then we're going to take that black and just go right here. Just to kind of emphasize that nose area. Okay, so there's his little nose. I'm going to go ahead and use the white to kind of blend that just a little bit, so it feels a little more natural. Okay, so there's his nose. Now you see how that pops on his face? It almost looks like that hair, that's a puffy little nose on his face now, because we've put those shadows in and that has brought out that nose and made it puffy. That's what we want. All right, so now we are going to do our face. Okay, so we're going to move back over to our ochre and our coffee color. Where's my coffee? Oh, that's sepia. Here it is, coffee. All right. Okay, so we're going to use our ochre. And we are going to do his cheeks right along the base here. And right down here. And we're going to take the dark ochre. This is light pressure, guys. We're doing light pressure on this. And then we're doing the coffee. Okay, now we're doing medium pressure. Ochre's first. Dark ochre, medium pressure. And then coffee, medium pressure. Okay, now heavy pressure with the ochre. Heavy pressure with the dark ochre. And heavy pressure with the coffee. Okay, now take the white, kind of blend that out. Don't go over the pink of the cheeks because you want to keep that pink in there. But if you do happen to do that, just pull out your pink pencil and highlight the cheeks a little bit more. I actually want my cheeks to be a little pinker, so I'm going to kind of give it a little bit more pink right along the edge, right there. And then I'm going to go over with the white so it blends. Okay. Now let's do the head. Same way. We're going with light pressure right across here. I'm even going to go up into the hair a little bit with this. Then a light pressure with the medium. We're not going out quite as far. And then the coffee, light pressure, but we're not going quite as far with that as we did even with the dark ochre. Okay. And then again, medium pressure with the ochre. I know it's a pain to have to layer it, but if you don't get that good blend. Medium pressure ochre, dark ochre, I mean. And then medium pressure coffee. Again, heavy pressure ochre. heavy pressure dark ochre, and heavy pressure coffee. And you kind of see how that blend happens. Let's do a little bit of that right here as well. It's a small area, so we can just do it pretty quickly. But we want his nose to have some dimension to it, so. Okay, and then take the white and go ahead and blend that out. Okay, so now we have his little face. What do you guys think so far? We still have to do his ears, but. Thank you, Golden Girl. I love him. I think he turned out great. He's not finished, though. We got to do his ears. All right. Let's do light ochre up his ears. We'll go about midway up with light pressure. Then we'll go about a third of the way up with the dark ochre with light pressure. Then we'll go a little teeny tiny ways up with the coffee and light pressure. Okay, same thing, medium pressure this time, about halfway up with the light ochre. And about a little third of the way up with the dark ochre, medium pressure. And then a teeny tiny bit with the coffee, medium pressure. Last layer, heavy pressure with the ochre, about halfway up. Heavy pressure with the dark ochre, about a third of the way up. And then heavy pressure with the coffee, just a teeny tiny ways up. Now I'm going to bring in this light ochre just slightly around the edges of the ear with heavy pressure, just to bring this all to kind of bring it together. And then I'm going to take the white and blend that out. Okay, and now you have his ears. Look at how cute he is, you guys. Isn't he precious? All right, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my Grabby Multiliner, if I can find them, wherever I stuck them. Okay, and I'm going to do just some black. I'm going to use the 05, and I'm going to do just some black hearts around him. So I'm going to do like here and here. And I'm going to do one over here. And I'm going to do one right here. And maybe like that. Maybe one. Nope, I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, now we're going to cover his face with some paper towel because I don't want to mess his face up. Okay, so I'm going to cover his little face, and we're going to do some splatters. Now, when you're doing your splatters, I want you to think about this, okay? I'm going to put this paper down so you can see. I'm going to take the #1 Mead & Brush. I'm going to dip into my, should I do black or pink? I'm going to do black. I'm going to dip into the black. Okay, the more water you have, the more apt you are to get big clumps. But you have to have enough water to sprinkle. So if you are not sure what it's going to look like, go ahead and do it on a practice sheet of paper first. And check to make sure you're getting the splatters that you want, okay? So you don't end up with a big mess. All right, now that I know I'm getting the size splatters I want, I can go ahead and splatter, okay? The pen that I'm using was the Grabby Multiliner 05 for the hearts, if that's what you're asking, Stacy Lee. Okay, the 05. Yeah, Thumper. He does look a little bit like Thumper, doesn't he? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with some pink. I'm going to add some pink splatters in. Again, I want to check my splatters before I do it. So I'm going to check to make sure that it is the right size splatters that I want. I don't want too many, but I want a little bit of pink in there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to lift, so his face isn't messed up because I kept that over him. And we're gonna dry him, and then we're gonna pull his tape. And when we pull the tape, you guys are gonna be able to see that blue background. You can't tell that it has a blue background right now, but when I peel the tape, you'll be able to see it. Okay, so that's dry now. Now watch when I peel this tape. Remember at the beginning we did that blue background? Now you get to see it. You see that? How pretty is that? I love it. This is my favorite part. It's so satisfying to peel this tape and see that light background that gives it a frame. And he's so cute, you guys. Bunny was a good one. Whoever said rabbit. I think it was Rhonda that said put rabbit on the list. I'm not sure. I can't remember. All right. So there he is. I am in love with him. I think he turned out so stinking cute. So what we did was we drew him out. Then we did a base layer of watercolor and shading with some watercolors. Then we did the detail work with the Grabby Multiliners. And then we did shading work with the colored pencils. And the thing about it is that the entire thing comes to life with all the mediums put together. So it's not about going, oh, I could do this whole thing with colored pencils. No, you couldn't. You're going to end up with a flat image. You want it to pop off the page as if it's like dimensional. And so you want to give it a lot of dimensions. Hey Babs, how are you? So that is what we're looking for. Thank you, Jaretha. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, honey. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. Ginger, thank you so much. Babs, thank you so much. Golden Girl, thank you so much. Okay, so the idea is to use different mediums in combination. Oh, perfect. Good. Yay. In combination together to create this dimensional image. All right. Y'all, I missed his arms. How did I do that? How did I miss his arms? I'm gonna have to do his arms now. They're driving me crazy because they're super flat compared to the rest of his body. I'm just gonna do, and I'm gonna do that same layering that we did on everything else with the pencils to make his arms. Sorry guys, I just feel like, wow, I don't know how I did that. I missed them. But it was very obvious when I was just now looking at it that the arms were super flat. Can you guys see the difference though between the once we put the colored pencils on, how that makes it dimensional, how it brings it to life instead of just being flat like it was? I mean, because it's super flat before you start adding in the shading. And you can do that shading with watercolors and not use the colored pencils too. You can. I've done it for a long time, but I started playing around with the colored pencils just recently, and I really liked the way that they gave it, the look that they gave it. So that is why I use the colored pencils now instead of my watercolors to do it. Oh, now his arms look even better. Look at that. See? Y'all let me skip his arms. How are you doing with the gouache? You know, Feral Mom, I haven't played around with it as much. We used some gouache yesterday, a little bit of the white to bring into our skunk, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with it. I will tell you that I got a Stay Wet palette from Nick Pro. They sent it to me, and I want to sit down and play with it and use it and see how I like it. So soon I'm hoping to have some time to do that. Babs, we were talking about that earlier. I have the Neo 2 watercolor crayons, and I love those. And if I'm going to use something like that, that's generally what I use. I do have some watercolor pencils, but I don't really use them that much. But I do use that. But when I use that kind of medium, I usually use my crayons, my Neo 2 crayons. Renee, this is the paper that we use, and I'll show you guys. Let me lift y'all off of here for a minute. Let me get you back to where I can see things coming through on my screen. Ooh, he's kind of close there. Let me back y'all off. There we go. So this is the paper that I recommend, and you can see the difference. If you look at, this is the cheap, paper you get off the Zon. And this is the paper that we use today. This is the paper that's down here. You can compare. You see the texture difference in that, and the color, the way the colors don't pop as much. Whereas this paper, the texture is absolutely gorgeous, and the colors pop so much more. If I were to redo, and I should do that, I should redo this onto this paper so you guys can see an exact difference of the images, because this paper is just so much better. This is just the cheap paper that you get off that, off of the Zon. But this is the medium paper. And it comes in a 5x7, which it comes in all different sizes. But I get the 5x7 because you can get 4 2.5 by 3.5 sizes exactly out of this with no waste. So you don't end up with a little sheet of paper that you can't use, or that's, extra. You don't end up with a bunch of extra. You just cut it equally, and it is perfectly 2.5 by 3.5 size for the ACEO size. So you get 4 of these out of one sheet of this. So when you get 20 sheets in a pad, you end up with 80 of these. And it's good quality paper. You do have to cut it yourself. Whereas when I got my paper from the Zon, I ordered 100 of these pre-cut, thinking that was going to save me some time. But as soon as I used it, I realized I hated it. So I went back to this, and I'll just cut it myself. So I ended up giving all of this paper to my grandson, who's 8, and he doesn't care about the paper right now, although he's doing a pretty darn good job of learning to paint. He's really getting good. But this paper is fine for him. So he's using this, and I'm using my good paper again. So I'm just you can tell, you can definitely tell the difference. So there's that. Thank you, pretty little things. Thank you so much. So I come on every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. On the weekends, if I have time, I will do pop-ups, just whenever I have the time. I don't know that I will have time over this weekend to do any pop-ups, but if I do, just look for me. I usually send out a notice to the people that pop up on my share section, but I will for sure be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for you guys, unless for some reason I end up with my grandkids. Just so you guys know, anytime I keep my grandkids, if they're here in the mornings, I can't do lives with them because I have a 2.5-year-old and an 8-year-old grandson, a 2.5-year-old granddaughter and an 8-year-old grandson. It's just hard. So if they're here for some reason and I don't come on at 10 a.m., it's because I'm going to come on in the evening instead, because I can't do a live when they're here because we're too busy playing around in my studio, painting together and having fun. But normally, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, unless I tell you differently, So I'll be back on Monday for sure. I might do some pop-up lives this weekend, but I couldn't tell you for sure. So this is today's painting. Let me sign it while I'm thinking about it. And it will be listed on my eBay probably over the weekend. I do have a few of the ones from this week already up and listed. All right, so does anybody have any questions on what we used today? Let's go over all of that so you guys know all of the products that we used today to create this cute little guy. Thanks, Kinder Kelly. I'm glad you hung out with me. So thankful for you. Thank you for all the fan club points engagement that you do, and for all the likes you give me and all the things. I appreciate all your support, you guys. All right, so we're going to go through what we used today, and then I'm going to hop off of here. So we used the very first thing we used was the Nick Pro mechanical pencil set. This is what we use to draw with. And guys, I'm telling you, this is the best set. I love it so much. So I used the 0.5 today. But it comes with a 0.7, a 0.5, a 0.9, and three 2.0s. They also have an indicator on them to tell you what kind of lead you have in it, because you have all of your options of lead as well. You have your HB, your 2B, your 2H, your 4H, your 6B, your 4B, your 2B, all of the options, okay, in leads. You also have colored lead for your 2.0s, which is nice. You also have extra erasers. You get 3 of these erasers. You get a kneaded eraser, and you get pencil sharpeners for the 2.0, which is great. This is a great little sketch pad or sketch kit. I don't know about you guys, but I do a lot of sketching. Like, I sketch all of my drawings, obviously, that I do for my watercolor, but I also do journaling. I want to grab this for you guys because I want to show you. Let me see what I did with that. I might not have it in here. I might have had it in the house. Oh no, here it is. So I also do a thing called Draw Your Day. And I don't draw my day every day, but I do some days in my journal. And these pencils are amazing for a Draw Your Day page. All right, so this was December 28th. So what I do is I draw it with these pencils first, and then I go back with my multi-liner. These were done with microns, but you can also do now I'm using the Grabby multi-liners. But you can go through with the Grabby multi-liner, and then you can do like all of your shading and things like that. So I'm trying to get it to focus. Your shading and your cross hatching and all of that comes along afterwards. So this pencil set, here's another one that I did. Let me see. There's another one right here. So like this day, my grandson, it was his birthday, and he came over and showed me his new bike. And I spent some time in my studio. I had breakfast with my husband, and we did a birthday dinner with my grandson that night, and he turned 8. So that was how I drew my day out that day. And on days like that, I just write it out and draw out a little picture that helps me to remember what I did that day. And so when I'm doing that, this set is amazing for that, because you have all the different sizes of tips, so you can do your line work really easily. Okay, so if you are into sketching and doing your sketches for like your watercolors like this, or your do your journaling, then this is a great little set to have. It also comes in this case, so it's super easy to just pack and take with you. Like I took it with me on my anniversary trip recently, so that I could draw my day while we were gone on our trip and remember kind of all the things that we did. And so that is, it was really easy to just grab and go. So I love that about it as well. Okay, so that was the pencils that we used to draw this little guy today. Okay, then we used the meat and paper, which we just talked about, which is, this is the meat and paper. You can see the beautiful texture that it has compared to cheap paper. This is the cheap off-brand paper, and you can tell the difference. I mean, if you put them side by side, you can for sure tell. I mean, this one just looks so much better. It just stands out more. The coloring is better. Everything, the texture, just, it's so much better than this. So, so the meat and paper is what we used. I used the 5x7 because I can get 4 of these out of one 5x7 sheet without any waste. And so I don't end up with a little sheet of paper that I can't use or something that I have to figure out what to do with. It divides equally for this ACEO size. So the 5x7 is a great size, but it comes in any size. Like they have a bunch of different sizes you can choose from. I just prefer the 5x7. Okay. So that is the paper that we used. Then we used the Meeden paints. These are the watercolor paints right here. We used the 96 color set. I also have the 48 color set, and I love the 48 color set, guys. I had it for a year and a half before I upgraded to this 96 color set. So just so you know, you can't go wrong with either one. We used the 98 colors or the 96 color set today because I wanted to use some of these macaroon colors back here. The 48 colors or the 96 color set comes with 48 regular colors. They go from lightest to darkest, so it's very easy to shade with these. They also come with 30 metallics, 12 macaroon colors, and 6 neons, which is great. Oh, cool, Katie. That's awesome. Yep. Did we just become BFFs? Yes, I think we did. I love it. Oh, goodness. Yep, I'm a nutritionist and exercise physiologist by trade. That's what my degree is in. But I'm a pretend watercolor artist here on TikTok. Oh, I love it. I'm going to follow you back. Thank you for the follow. I'm following you back right now. I will comment on all your videos and all the things. So this does come, it goes from lightest to darkest, so it does make it very easy to shade, which is great. Also, these pop out, so you can pull these out in groups of 6, or you can pop them out individually if you want as well, which is nice. I do that a ton because I don't have a lot of room when I'm doing my live, so I'll pop it out and just pull it over by me. It makes it super easy. It comes with a brush, it comes with a pencil, it comes with an eraser, and 2 art sponges. It also comes with this fold-out mixing palette, which we use today. And that just pops in, closes down. This closes up, and you can take it and travel. I love it. Not that cool. Just watch craft videos. That's great. Well, that's okay. That's okay too. We each have to be our own person, right? Okay, so that was the palette that we used today for this little guy. How cute is he? Every time I look at him, I just smile. Okay, then the other thing that we used were the Grabby multi-liners. Now, guys, I'm not playing around when I say this is a great set, okay? These Grabby multi-liners, not only do they have the same, the black, they have all of the black multi-liners, but they have one that is an 003, which is the smallest I've ever seen. So you can do this hair detail so easy with these. Love, love, love these. They also have colors, which is great. So we used the color around his ear before we did the hair, and that kind of brought it all together, which was really great. We used a pink around his ear to do that. We also used the brown to bring in some of these hairs in his body and up here. So the brown was really cool. They are waterproof, so you can use them. And then if you want to paint over them with water and do watercolor on top of them, you're not going to get a smear of ink because they are watercolor and they're permanent archival ink. So these are incredible. I love this set. I have been waiting for this set to come in for a while because Grabby reached out to me and they were like, hey, would you be interested in trying our multi-liner? And I was like, absolutely. But they were not on TikTok at the time. They didn't have the product on TikTok. So they had to send it to me from their factory that's, I think, in another country. Normally they come really fast because there's a warehouse here in the US, but because these weren't a TikTok product at the time, it took them a little while to get here. So I just got them in yesterday, but I've been so excited to get these because I love multi-liners and I love the watercolor, but my biggest excitement was on this size, this 0.003 size, or this 0.15 size. It's a 003. Because I've never seen that small size before. Also, it has these two brush sizes right here that I can use to practice my lettering, which is another one of my goals this year, is to practice my lettering and get better at that. So I'm going to be able to use these to do that because you've got a sketch one and you've got which is flexible, and you've got a brush pen. Totally cool. Love it, love it, love it. Plus you have all of these colors in the 05 size, which is great. So I'm going to have, and I can start doing my draw your day sketches when I'm outlining. I can use colors now instead of just having to do them in black and white. So when I do this, so like this plant here, I could do that and use the green. And I could use like the brown for the pot here. And so I can start using colors in my draw your day stuff instead of just black and white if I want to. Although I like the black and white, but just saying I could use colors and that would be cool too. So these are, let's see, what's the name? Are you talking about these? These are the Grabby multi-liner drawing pens. There's 20 in the pack. You get all of the sizes for black, and then you get the 05 sizes in all of your primary colors, plus gray and brown, which is nice. And they are amazing. So if you love these, okay, if you love this brand, you are going to love these even more. All right. I'm excited about having these. I'm really, really excited about these. I'm going to play with these and I'm going to use them a lot, I feel certain. So I was super excited to hear that they were putting these on their TikTok shop because I had to get these off the site, off of a different, off their main site, not TikTok shop. And now they're on TikTok shop. So you guys get to get them much quicker than I did. Okay, so we use that. That is what we used for his, for all the detail work that you see around his little nose and his whiskers and all of the things, okay? Now, the next thing that we used was, we did use the Meeden brushes. So if you're looking for a good set of watercolor brushes, these are the brush sets that I recommend. Most of my products that I use are Meeden, and that is what I recommend because I love Meeden products. I do not recommend their tape, but I do recommend their brushes and their paints, and a lot of their organizational products as well, to organize all your supplies. The brushes they're rust proof, so they do not rust, so you won't get any rust in your art. They hold a ton of water because they're synthetic squirrel hair. They hold their tips really well, so you can even do detail work with these bigger brushes because they have these tiny little tips. They are ergonomically designed to keep from your hand getting fatigued, which is nice if you're painting for a long time like I do. And the ferrule is nice and tight and won't rust, so you won't get rust in your paint, and you won't have a loose issue with it coming off. They're short, so you can control your strokes really easily. And again, they hold a ton of water because they're synthetic squirrel hair. If you're looking for a good professional brush set that will not break the bank, this is the set for you. Because a brush this size, professional brush this size, can sometimes cost upwards of $30 or $40 for one brush. This is the 4-brush set. You can get it for I think it's under $35 for all 4 brushes. It might even be under $30 for all 4 brushes. I'm not sure. But I can tell you that this is an amazing brush set and it will level up your art so quickly. I was so surprised at how much different my art was once I started using good brushes. So just so you know, this is a great brush set. The other brush set that we used today was the Golden Maple detail brush set. We used the 00. This set comes with a 0, a 00, and a 1. This is a great set as well. So we also used that. And then the last thing that we used was the So Color colored pencils to bring out all of the shading in your art. Okay. The shading was the So Color colored pencils. That's what makes all this blended shading and makes this look 3D, is adding this on top of the watercolors. Because the colored pencils just really give it some dimension. And you can do that with watercolors as well, but I like to use the colored pencils on top instead of watercolors. So we do some shading with the watercolors, and then we bring it to life with the colored pencils. And I use the So Color. They're right down here. That is what we used. That was the final layer of our print today. I think he's beautiful. I think he turned out super cute. So if you have any questions about any of those products, feel free to pop them in the comments. The other thing I'm going to tell you guys is that one of the best things that I did for myself as an artist was to get this book right here. It is called This Is Not a Sketchbook. It's an art class. And it is by Lauren Horn. And she is an art teacher, and she takes you through learning to draw. And she has a QR code for every single lesson, and she does, and then it has an assignment with it. So you would, basically what you do is you scan the QR code and then you do the homework. Okay. And she starts you out on the very first day doing a self-portrait. Even if you've never drawn before in your life, you do this self-portrait, okay? You scan the QR code. She kind of goes through the instructions and everything, and then you do a self-portrait. So you start out with, whatever your skill set is, all right? And if you look, you can see the afters of after going through this course. It's pretty amazing. She has taught me so much through this book, and and I'm not even all the way through it yet, guys. I'm only on about lesson 20, but it has got so many lessons, and every single page or every single lesson has a QR code with a video lesson first, and then you do the assignment, which I think is amazing. It's genius. And she says that drawing is a skill set. It's not something you have to be born with. And I agree with her, because I could not draw worth a flip. And you can see now that all of the things that we've done just this week. I mean, these are things that we've done this week that I promise you a year ago, there is no way that I could have drawn any of this stuff. Okay, these are not stamps, guys. We drew these on our lives by hand. Okay, and we did it because I got that book and I learned how to draw, because I knew that I wanted to be able to draw my stuff and not just use stamps for my background. And so that is what I did. And these are proof that you can learn to draw, because I did not know diddly squat about drawing. And this book has really, really changed my ability to draw. So this is one of the best things that I could have done for myself as an artist. It really is. And it was kind of pricey, and I didn't want to spend the money on it. I was like, man, I really don't want to spend that kind of money, but I really want to learn to draw. So, but I was thinking, I'm going to spend that on one lesson from an instructor, right? So I went ahead and got it. And let me tell you, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. The things that I can draw now that I was not able to draw a year ago. And that's because of this book. Thank you, Samantha. He is listed on my eBay site. So he is already up and ready to be sold to his new home. I'm going to... Hang on, guys. I gotta let my dog out. Go. Out you go. He was scratching the door, wanting to go outside now that it's quit raining. So anyway, that is what I have to say about drawing. If you are wanting to improve your drawing skills, then this right here is the way to do it. Okay. It is so worth the money. I promise you, it is the best thing that I did for myself as an artist. And I tend to forget to tell you guys about this on a daily basis when I'm in here. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it today, because people ask me all the time, like, oh, I can't draw that. Oh, I can't draw that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Drawing is a skill set. It is not something that you have to be born with. It is something you can learn. You just have to learn and practice. And so with that said, this book will show you how. And again, it's not one of those books that you have to read and figure it out. She has QR codes on each lesson. Literally, every lesson has a QR code that you scan, takes you to a video, gives you a lesson, and then you do the homework. Thank you, Lex. That makes me feel so good, you guys. That just, I can't, y'all. I'm telling you guys, I never in a million years thought I would be able to do any of this stuff, y'all. I didn't. When I started doing lives, I started in August of this last year doing lives, and I was so nervous about it because I wasn't very good. I'm still not great, but I was not very good at all. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on there and I'm just going to put myself out there and I'm going to start improving and I'm going to make myself do it and they'll hold me accountable and all the things. And, oh my goodness. I love that. You went to art school so you can say that. Yes, thank you. That makes me even feel better. Gosh, that's crazy because I did not go to art school. I am a nutritionist and exercise physiologist by trade. So that's my background. And I'm a pretend artist on TikTok. So, but I'm telling you guys, that book right there helped me a ton to learn to draw. And it's just practicing every day. And so I come on here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do an illustration with you guys. And sometimes it turns out to be a complete hot mess, and sometimes it turns out beautiful. You just never know. But I'm not afraid to fail. And I'll show you guys some of my earlier work, just because I want you guys to see how far I've come. Like, we did these early on, and while they're pretty, they're not even like this little guy. I mean, this is what I was doing. These are the things that I was doing 6 months ago. All right. These are 6 months ago. Well, yeah, these were August, September, October. I mean, I couldn't even draw a bottle straight, honestly. Okay, so these are some of my earlier work. This is a little bit later. We did this later in October, so I was getting a little bit better at that point. But really and truly, it's just practicing, guys. It's practicing and learning what mediums work for you as an artist and learning about your style and what you enjoy. And I know, right, Samantha? I can. If I were to go back onto these and add in shading with colored pencils, it would level these up so much. Like this little guy, his name was Pickles the Street Cat. If I were to go and shade him now with the colored pencils in all of his little glory, he would just pop off the page. He wouldn't look flat anymore. Right now he looks flat, and that's because he doesn't have that. I mean, I've shaded him with the watercolors, and like I said, you can shade with watercolors. I've done that. But if I were to put colored pencil on him, he would really pop off the page, I think. So, okay, Golden Girl. Laugh if you will. I'm telling you guys. Okay, let me pull some. I want to pull some of my even earlier work than that, just because I want you guys to see the crap that I did early on. Let's see. This was one of the very first. This was one of the first ones I did on live. That, and let's see. I did this one. I mean, that's super simple. I did this one. So these are some that we did early on. Like it was just the basics, okay? What I have done is I bought a watercolor. I mean, this little pumpkin, which is absolutely atrocious. I actually did, I actually bought this watercolor set and a brush, or it came with a brush, and I just started learning from videos. So that is how I did it. And it's not, and I was not born with talent, guys. I'm telling you guys, this does not require talent. It just requires practice, and it requires you to hone your craft. So that is what I do. Every day I come on here with you guys and I practice. You guys are my practice time. And sometimes they turn out like this little guy. I love him. I think he's beautiful, but I learned a lot with him, a whole lot. He's not exactly the way that I would want him to be the next time I did him. So I learned a lot in this process. And now I know next time when I do a skunk, what I'm going to do differently. This little guy right here, I tried to do him again here. And you can see the second version of him is even better and blended better and all the things. I just like the second version of him better. So, you know, so there's just, it's just about practicing, guys. It's just about practicing. That's all it is. Yes, it is nice to be able to look back and see my progress for sure. Let's see. Hi, Vega. How are you? They're all uploaded on my Tube of View channel. So if you missed them, you can get the replays on my Tube of View channel. Okay. And, so there's that. And here is we were talking about paper earlier. I think I had a discussion with you about paper the other day. I'm not sure if wasn't it you, Vega, that we were talking on that, video I had with the watercolor book. We were talking about paper. This is the lame paper and this is the good paper. And you can see such a huge difference in what good paper does. Like, it's very, very different. But I wouldn't, like, this is my, you know, when I'm not wanting, like, if I'm going to practice something, I'm going to use this cheapo paper to practice. Even though I know that when I get on here, it's going to look way different. But yes, there is a huge difference in paper, and crappy paper is crappy paper. For sure. But you can see that even the texture of this is very different. So, all right. So that is today's tutorial, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you have any question. On my Tube of View channel, you can find it on my TikTok page. If you go to my TikTok page and you look under my BIO, there is an LINK tree. Click it, and you will have the options for all of my stuff will be right there. So do not hesitate to do that. You can find it, and all of these replays are up there except for today's. This one will go up this afternoon as long as my internet cooperates. But these 4 replays are already up and ready for you guys to have. And they are in the entirety. So fast forward through all the product stuff and all of the yapping and all that stuff. But today's is not up yet. It'll be up this afternoon. And I don't edit anything. I just upload the entire video. So hopefully you guys will go and practice these if you missed the lives, or even if you did the lives and you've already done them once. It doesn't hurt to do them a second time to practice. That's what I do. That's why I have 2 of these giraffes right here, because I practiced doing a second one because I wanted to see how it was gonna look. So, I mean, look at this little guy, guys. This is one of my earlier ones. I mean, he's just so simple and but So yeah, I mean, you can see the progression of how my art has progressed. And those of you who've been here with me since the beginning, like Jamie and Feral Mom and all of you guys who've been here since the early days, you can see how much I've progressed in my ability to do this. And it's because it's a skill set and you just have to practice at it. So if you don't think that you can do watercolor, you are wrong. Anybody can do this. Just get a palette and grab you some good paper or some cheap paper if you don't want to spend the money on good paper right away, and start practicing. Okay. And this book that I have, let's see, it is the watercolor book for beginners. Let me pull it out for you guys because it's a good one. And this is what we were talking about the paper. You know, the paper's not that great in here, but you have your sketches and you have very specific instructions in this book. It is by Dana Fox. And let me pull it up for you guys. It's right here. Okay, and this is a good book to help you if you are a beginner in watercolor. And she, basically what she does is she shows you, I mean, she gives you a little introduction about, you know, different techniques and everything that you can practice. And then she gives you a sketch. She gives you the color palette. And then she gives you the instructions. And so you can actually paint directly into the book because it's watercolor paper. And it's got, I mean, it's decent. It's not horrible paper. It's not like the stuff you get off of the Zon, but it's not going to be Meeden paper either, just so you know. And she has she has them through the whole book, and she gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do it. She even gives you your supply list, everything that you need, and she walks you through. She has a sketch, but she also has the version of color so you can have it to look at. And it's all these different paintings with the instructions and the color palette and the supply list. So this is a really good book if you're wanting to learn to do watercolors because you don't have to draw it out. You just simply have to practice, right? See, there's the sketch. But you see, though, how the sketch is very elementary. But then when you get done, you have all this shading and you have all of these different things. That is what watercolor is about. When we do our shadings, remember, I tell you guys all the time, they end up to be, or when we do our sketches, they're a hot mess when we first start. They look crazy. But it's because we're just giving ourselves a guideline to start painting and adding color to it. And then we end up with these beautiful prints when we're done. So if you guys have not seen this book, this is definitely something to consider if you are into learning how to paint with watercolors. They even have animals. Like, look, there's a little skunk. We could have done that skunk instead of our little skunk that we did right there. And then there's, like, this is the little chipmunk. She gives you the color palette, the supplies, all the instructions. So, and again, it's watercolor paper. It's not great paper, but it's not the Zon paper like I got. It's not that. I mean, it's kind of in between. It's like a medium level paper. The texture is pretty good on it, which I like. One of the things I don't like about it is that the drawings are on the left side, but I don't use this. I use this information and I draw my own because I want to get better at drawing. So I force myself to go ahead and draw the sketch myself. So I'm not even using this paper, but I like the fact that she gives you all of these instructions. So, okay. So there's that. Look at this little bunny. How cute is that? So very, very good. Lots and lots of different sketches and lots of different techniques. She goes through the ink and wash technique. I mean, there's just a lot of different things in this book. So if you are wanting to get just the basics down, this is a great book to have to do that. All right. I do see the difference. I was just teasing you, taught yourself well. Thank you, Golden Girl. I knew that. I knew you were teasing. Okay, so any other questions before I hop off of here? I've had so much fun with you guys today. This little guy will be uploaded. The replay will be uploaded to my Tube of You channel. Kelly, thank you for the follow. I'm going to follow you back. Mert, thank you for the follow. I'll follow you back. I try to follow you back when I see y'all come through, but I don't always see it, so. Yes, yes. For sure, yes. And you've been here since the beginning, Stacey Lee, so you've seen me kind of grow through all of the learning process, for sure. So, now, before I get off, if anybody has any questions on any of the products that we've talked about and used today, let me know. I'm going to switch us back to the paints because that is the paints that we use. I started with this, the Mead and Paint set, okay? That is what got me started into watercolors. I purchased this set right here, which is the 48 color set. And you can see that it is a complete hot mess because I used this over and over and over every single day. I used it for everything that I had up until when I upgraded to the 96 color set. All right. I'm telling you guys, that's what got me started into watercolors. And it is still the palette I use today. I just used the 96 color palette instead of the 48 color palette. But I'm telling you, this is amazing. All right. I love this palette. I love these paints. They're highly pigmented. They're very, very creamy and buttery and bright. And that is what, thank you, Gail. Thank you so much. That is what I want to get across, is that you don't have to have a super expensive palette to be able to learn how to do watercolors, okay? I have used this since the beginning. When I started doing watercolors a year and a half ago, that is what I used, okay? So, and I still use that same palette today. Now, I have some really nice expensive palettes, but I don't pull them out that often. You can put foil over the palette and then throw away easy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I know. Mine's a mess. I just make a mess. What are the best types of brushes to use with watercolors? Okay, Kavita, the brushes that I use, I have a lot of sets that I love, but my favorite set is the Mead set. Now, this is a professional set that doesn't break the bank. I will show you, they're right here. You can pay upwards of $40 a brush for big brushes like this, but you can get these for less than, I think, $35, the whole set. And they're worth it. Brush matters. Now, the brush that comes with the palette is this brush right here. And it is the brush that I used for a good 6 months before, when I was learning, before I broke down and got this set. But when I did break down and get this set, I have to tell you that it definitely leveled up my art. Brushes matter. And the better the brush, the better your art's going to be. The thing I love about these brushes are this. The first thing is that they're short, so you can control your strokes really, really easily. And they have this ergonomically correct handle, so it reduces hand fatigue. So if you're painting for a long time like I do, it keeps your hand from getting tired. Another thing that I love about these brushes is that this metal around the ferrule will not rust. So you will not end up with rust in your art, which happens on those cheaper brushes. The ferrule will rust, and then you will end up with that rust color dripping into your paints, and you don't want that. Also, they are synthetic squirrel hair, so they hold a ton of water, and they keep their shapes really well. See the tip on this? I've had these brushes for over a year,
and they still have a really good shape on them. And you can even do detail work with this bigger brush because the tip is so fine and stays so pointy. So I love that about these brushes. It comes, the 4 brush set comes with a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7. But they do have a 9 brush set if you feel like you need more sizes than that. I just feel like that the 4 brush set has been fine for me, though. I haven't really felt like I needed the 9 brush set. I also have these Fumi brushes, which I really, really like as well. They're kind of weird looking, but they are nice for florals and details and stuff. They're really great as well. And they're in my shopping bag too. I'm not sure. We didn't use them today. And I use them for like when I'm doing florals and stuff. Here they are right here. Oh gosh, they're on a really good price right now. Holy cow. I had no idea they were on sale, you guys. These are not cheap either, but they're on a really good sale right now, as you can see. So, these are a nice brush set as well. So just so you know, those are what I recommend. Now, as far as detail brushes, Meeden makes a really nice set of detail brushes, and it is right here. This is the miniature brush paintbrush set. So it's got 15 of the, you know, the detail brushes. Golden Maple has an excellent detail brush set as well, which is great. So love, love, love these. Tina, you just finished your bunny. I want to see it. Can't wait. Can't wait to see it. Anyway, so I hope that helps. Kavita, I hope that helped you kind of know. The maple golden, is it golden maple? Hang on, let me find it. Yeah, golden maple. These detail brushes are what we use today, and I really like them as well if you're looking for a good detail brush. Okay? You are so welcome. You are so welcome. All right. Anybody else have any questions about any of those? I had somebody earlier say that wanted to know my organizational stuff, so I'm going to show y'all that really quickly because one of my goals this year is to get my studio much more organized, so I have everything kind of within arm's reach because I get tired of having to search for things. As you guys know, I'm very neurodivergent, and because those of you who followed me for any length of time know that I'm constantly looking for things. I'm constantly losing things. I'm constantly not knowing where I've put it, all that thing. So my goal this year was to stay organized. So the very first thing that I got was something for all of my paints, all of my tube paints, my gouache paints, my oil pastels, all of those things. And it was this Meeden 6-drawer art supply chest, which is right here. So this is what I use for all of these are my watercolor tubes. These are my oil pastels. And these are my gouache, my colored pencils, and my glitter pens that are not my ZSCM glitter pens that come with a case. And you can pull these out. You can move it over to your workspace, use everything, and then put it back. And you don't have to worry about making a big giant mess, which I absolutely love. So this was the first thing that I used for organization. And these can stack. So like if I wanted to have 12 drawers instead of 6, I could order 2 of these and I could stack them and have, 12 drawers instead. So that is another thing that I absolutely, for organization, I highly, highly recommend these. I'm telling you, they are so nice. Plus, the fact that you can pull these drawers out makes it easy to clean on the inside. So you can clean it and brush it out really easily, which is great. The other thing that I ordered was the Meeden deep drawers. Okay, so they are, let me find that for you guys. Where are you? Come on, where'd you go? Right here. Okay. And these are directly in front of me, and I can put all the things that I'm grabbing at, you know, pretty often. These are miscellaneous supplies that I use for when I'm videotaping. These are all of my watercolor little, like my sleeves, my cut paper, and my postcard paper, my watercolor tablets, all of that kind of stuff are all in here. And then right here are all of my sanding paper and my little sanders, because I do wood art as well. And so when I'm doing my earrings and my ornaments and things like that, I have at my fingertips all of my sanding supplies. So I've kept that very organized. So that is another thing that I have. Another thing that I got was this. And this is for my markers. So I have all of my alcohol markers here, and I have all of my acrylic markers here, and some of my grabby glitter pens down here. So that keeps, and I'm going to order another one of these because I still have a bunch of marker sets that I haven't been able to put in here because I didn't have enough space. So this one has been amazing because now I can just reach for them. Normally they were up here because see, these are my other sets that I haven't put in there yet. So I always had to stand up, grab it, pull it down, and then dump them out right here, get them, use them, and then put them back, and then put them back up there. Now I can just grab the color I want and put that color back when I'm done. So much easier, within arm's reach. Love, love, love this. If you don't have one of these and you use markers a lot, I'm going to just say you need it. Okay? You absolutely, without a doubt, you need it. Okay? That's another thing that I use for organization. Another thing that I got was this right here. And this is where I keep all of my brushes right here. Sorry, I have cords hanging down because I had to charge things today. But normally those are right here. But I keep this right here so that I can just spin it and grab my brushes, my pencils. I don't usually, these go in a case. I just put them there just now because we just finished our live. I don't normally keep them in there. But I also keep my white paints right here because I use white a lot. But I keep all of my brushes. I will be putting my grabby multi-liners in here as well, but these are my microns. I also keep a thing of water in here. So when I'm doing my lives, all of the things that I need are right here at my fingertips. I just have to spin it and grab it. So I love this very much, especially when I don't have my cords hanging all over it, because right now my cords are all there because I was charging everything this morning. But love this. And it has a handle that I can just grab and just take it with me or move it or do whatever I want to with it, which is great. I love the fact that it's got that little handle to grab and go. Okay, so there's that. And Golden Girl, thank you for grabbing those brushes. You're going to be so excited. You're going to love them. I'm excited for you because you are going to level your art up with those brushes, girl. I'm not kidding you. All right, let me put that here. Get that out of my way. Okay. And then another thing that I did was, because I do a lot of vinyl and things like that. So one of the things that I did was, because I do a lot of vinyl and things like that. So one of the things that I did was get this cart. And let me just show you. Where is it at? Right here. Okay, this is from Costway. And I use it for my vinyl. Okay. So what I do is my red vinyl. Uh-oh, my grandson stuck something in there. My orange vinyl, everything. Oh, I've got it turned around backwards, you guys. Sorry. That's why I was like, what's going on here? It rolls out. And sorry, I rolled it out to sweep the other day, and I turned it around backwards. I was like, what is going on? So you can see that my red vinyl and paper is all in here. My orange is in here. And so forth. And then down at the bottom, some of the colors repeat. So I did black and white, and I did my glitter. This is black and white, and then this is also some golds and stuff, gold and bronze. But the colors kind of coincide with the vinyl colors. And so that is what, that's what I use for that. The marker organizer is the Meeden one. Let me pin it for you right here. Okay, that is the marker organizer. I love it so much. And like I said, it keeps them all within hand's reach, which is great, because I have a tendency to not like to use markers when they're not within reach. And so then I just have all these supplies that I don't use. But when I have all of this stuff, and you can see right here, let me just show you guys. Now that everything is kind of within arm's reach on my desk, like I can reach all of my stuff here, I can reach my paints, and I can reach my markers right here. And it's all organized right here in front of me, which is really nice because now I'm using those supplies. Because honestly, if it's out of reach and I have to look for it, I'm going to have a lot more, I'm going to struggle with utilizing it. And that's the thing. I want to use my supplies that I buy. I don't want to waste my money and buy them and then never use them. But the problem is I forget I have them because they're not right in front of me. And, bye, Golden Girl. I'll see you later. Have a good afternoon. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday. 10 a.m. Central Standard Time will be my next live, unless I do a pop-up over this weekend. But usually when I do my pop-up live, guys, it's not like tutorials like this. It's like some of my other stuff. So just so you know, like I don't always do tutorial lives. Sometimes I'll do like, I have that nugget ice machine that I love, and I do that. And I've got a vacuum cleaner I love, and I'll do lives with that. So, you know, it's not always art, but my morning lives are art. Okay. And I'll see you guys I'll see you on Monday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Okay. So any questions on the stuff that we used today? Shannon, thank you for the follow. I just followed you back. Or any of the stuff that I just showed you. If you guys have any questions on any of that, let me know. And I will be happy to try to answer those questions for you. If not, I'm going to be hopping off of here and making me some lunch. All right, Stacey Lee, I'll check it when I get off of here. Thank you guys for joining me for the tutorial today. It's been so much fun. This is what we've done this week so far. This was Monday's tutorial on this crappy paper that I don't like. And then this was Tuesday. All right, guys. Sorry about that. My plug fell out of my phone and it was almost dead. So this was Tuesday's right here. This was Wednesday's tutorial right here. This was Thursday's tutorial. And this was today's tutorial. So if you guys have enjoyed those this week, painted them, you want any of the replays on them, you can get them on my Tube of View channel. I'm so grateful that you joined me this week. For everybody that went ahead and made a purchase, I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for all of your likes, all of your gifts, everything that you've done to support me this week. Thank you very much. I'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we will finish we will do some more of our list that you guys gave me. We still have lots of things on the list that you guys want to do. I think we have a mouse on there. We have a fox on there. We have just a ton of stuff. I don't have the list in front of me, but we do have a lot still on our list. So we will be continuing to do the animals on our list on Monday. Okay. So I will see you guys on Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Again, these are already up for replay on my Tube of View channel. So if you want to do the replays of these tutorials, you can get those on my Tube of View channel. This one will be up by this afternoon. I will download it when I get off of here and upload it this afternoon. So you will have it over the weekend if you want to do today's tutorial as well. So if you missed any of these, you can catch the replays. Just simply click on my TikTok page, go underneath my bio, and you'll see a LINK there. And you can find my Tube of View channel. All right, guys. Okay, I will see you guys on Monday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.